Section 3.6, proportional and non-proportional relationships. Essential question. How do you write an equation in function notation to represent a graph? So in this lesson, we're going to be given lines, and we're going to have to write an equation for the line. The first thing we need to know if we're writing an equation for the line is what is the slope, or how to find the slope. The slope is always rise over run. So that means we're rising, so think about rising out of bed. You're going up or down in this case. Running is left and right. So always go up or down, then left and right. The equation for slope-intercept form in function notation is f of x, remember that's just another way of saying y equals mx plus b. M is the slope of the line, so the rise over the run. B is the y-intercept, which is where the line crosses the y-axis. If you're taking notes on this lesson, the easiest way to put the graphs into your notes is by making two dots at the coordinate points and connecting them with a line. So this dot is at 1, 1. This dot is at 0, negative 2. So make both of those dots in your notes and connect them with a line. Now the way that I'm going to write this equation in function notation, remember that's mx plus b. M is my slope, or my rise over run. B is my y-intercept. So for this equation, I'm going to set it up, f of x equals, alright, slope or rise over run. I'm going to pick one of the dots and count the rise and count the run. This is what we already did in section 3.3, so this part should be a review. If I go from this dot, if I go up 1, 2, 3, over 1, that means my slope is 3 over 1, or 3. Put the x next to it. Then if I have to figure out where my line crosses the y-axis, that's my y-intercept. It crosses the y-axis right here, which is from the origin down 1, 2, so it's negative 2. Same thing again, write an equation in function notation. I'll write that equation for us. F of x equals mx plus b. M is my slope, or my rise over run. B is my y-intercept. So for this problem, if you want to graph it in your notes, the coordinate points are 0, negative 1, and 1, 2, 3, 4, negative 4, 0. Pick one of the coordinate points and count your rise and run. So I'll start at this one. I'm rising negative 1, running 1, 2, 3, 4. So my slope is negative 1/4 x. And then I have to look at where my line is crossing the y-axis. Remember, the y-axis goes up and down, so it's this black line right here. It crosses the y-axis, 1 down from the origin, so minus 1. This graph has coordinate points at negative 2, or excuse me, negative 2, 0, 0, negative 2. Oops, we lost my dot. 0, negative 2, and 2, 1. So f of x equals, count my rise and run, so rise 1, 2, 3, run 1, 2. So 3 over 2, x, my line crosses the y-axis right here, and that's down 2 from the origin, so minus 2. This time my coordinate points are at 0, 4, and 2, 1. So f of x equals, I'm going to start at this point, rise negative 1, 2, 3, run positive 1, 2. So negative 3 over 2 x. My line crosses the y-axis right here, which is positive 4. These coordinate points are 0, 2, and 2, 3. F of x equals, count my slope, rise 1, run 1, 2. So 1/2 x, my line crosses the y-axis right here, which is positive 2. This time I've got a dot at the origin, so 0, 0, and 3, negative 1. F of x equals, pick a dot to start at. I'm going to pick this one, rise negative 1, run 1, 2, 3. So negative 1 over 3 x. My line crosses the y-axis at 0. So I can write plus 0, or I don't really need that, so my equation is just f of x equals negative 1/3 x. Coordinate points are at negative 1, 1, and 0, 4. F of x equals, rise 1, 2, 3, run 1. So 3 over 1 is 3. My line crosses the y-axis right here. That's 1, 2, 3, 4. So plus 4. Coordinate point is negative 3, negative 2, and 0, 3. F of x equals, rise 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, run 1, 2, 3. 5/3 x. My line crosses the y-axis right here, which is positive 3. Summary. The homework for this lesson is 2 versatile pages.